Coronation Street newcomer Phill Whittaker's days could be numbered on the ITV soap, as he could become the victim of a rather sinister character whose dangerous antics leads to murder. Phill, played by Jamie Kenner, has been smitten in his relationship with Phiz Stape, Jenny McAlpine, on Coronation Street over the past few months, and he has even gotten the approval of her former lover, Tyrone Dobbs, Alan Hellsaul. The one thing the mechanic was worried about more than anything was the newcomer was going to take his place as Hope Stape, Isabella Flanagan, and Ruby Dobbs, Macy Allaby, father. It seems he has had nothing to be concerned about, as the schoolgirls have still been having contact with their father, but as Phill becomes a more prominent figure in their lives, it could be Hope who finally claims her first victim on the ITV soap to get rid of him for good. Towards the end of last year, Phiz agreed to leave the Cobbles and make a fresh start with Phill living somewhere completely different. It wouldn't be too far away from Weatherfield, but the move would mean the girls wouldn't get to see their father as much as they used to. They seem to have been okay with the plan so far, as Hope even helped clean up the house for a property expert to come and value it for sale. However, when the moving date edges closer to happening, the youngster could have a sudden change of heart and won't want to move in the coming weeks. As she begins to kick up a fuss, Phill could make it clear to her she shouldn't mess things up for her mother, who is the happiest she has been in a long time. History has shown when it comes to her parents' relationships, Hope loves to meddle and cause as much trouble as possible. Only last year, she was instrumental in forging a breakup between Tyrone and his former lover, Alina Pop Ruxandra Porojniku. The sinister schoolgirl had set fire to the flat they were living in, and this subsequently led to the young expectant mother losing her baby. Since this happened, the youngster has been seeking help from a therapist to try and work through the troubles going on in her head. In recent weeks, she seems to have made progress, as the therapist has recognized how Hope has started to show emotion with regard to some of her behavior. Therefore, taking on Phill, who has become like a second father figure for her, will be no problem whatsoever, as she could resort to just about anything to get her way. Although she has committed some heinous crimes in the past, the youngster has never actually killed anyone, a trait possessed by her birth father, John Stape, Graham Hawley. During his reign of terror on the Cobbles, he became a serial killer as he took the lives of several residents and almost killed Phiz. As the anger builds in her over Phill taking her away from the place she has come to call home, she could murder him in a tense confrontation. After arguing with the schoolgirl, the newcomer could turn his back, which is when Hope could throw a heavy object at his head. At first, there might not be any signs of any injury sustained, and Phill would just proceed to give Hope a good telling off. However, as the day continues, he could start to lose his vision and collapse as he begins to move boxes out of the house. When Phiz finds him, she could try to help him, but it would be clear the newcomer had already died, as a bleed on the brain could have exacerbated. As no one was witness to what Hope did to him, she could get away with murder, as the police rule it as an accidental death. This could make the youngster dangerous, as she would now have no limits when it comes to taking revenge on someone or getting her own way. The actor who plays Phill, Jamie, spoke to Express.co.uk and other media about his time on the Cobbles and hinted there could be trouble for him and Hope on the horizon. Jamie was asked about whether his character of Tyrone should end up with Phiz, and he replied, "It's a really tricky one. Obviously Phill. He wines and dines her, he looks after her, and he adores the kids. Phill can't see a reason why the children can't be in their lives." Phill might not think so, but it could be Hope who doesn't want him in their lives, ruining the chances of her mother and further getting back together. Executive producer Ian MacLeod also teased some drama heading in Phil's direction as he tries to build a future with Phiz. The soap boss explained, "We're giving the audience cause to question Phil's motives at times. I won't spoil the outcome of all that, but Phiz will end up in a huge dilemma about where her future lies," he added, hinting Phiz could find out Hope killed Phill and she will have to decide whether to report her daughter to the police. Ian said, "I think I know what Phi's happy ending looks like, but it's going to be a long, brilliant and complicated story for both her and Tyrone. Could they harbor a deadly secret to ensure their daughter remains out of prison for her heinous crimes?